The stars hung in the black, unmoving and eternal, as the warship Aegis Dawn drifted past the edge of Pluto's orbit. It was a behemoth of alloy and algorithms, Earth's most advanced spacecraft, outfitted with next-generation weaponry, AI-assisted command systems, and a crew trained for deep space conflict. And yet, in that vast silence, even they felt small. Commander Alara Voss stood alone on the bridge, watching the sensor data flicker on the central display. Her hands were clasped behind her back, her stance rigid, almost statuesque. She had commanded vessels before, but none like the Dawn. This wasn't just a warship. It was a symbol, a deterrent, and perhaps, she sometimes thought, a coffin waiting for purpose. "Commander," said Lieutenant Arun Ravel from the comm station, his voice tight. "We're picking up something. Not a signal. More like a pulse." Voss turned. "Define it." Arun frowned, running fingers over the console. "Energy spike, low frequency. No modulation. It's repeating every 23 seconds. Origin 100 clicks ahead, near the Kuiper Belt debris field. Visuals. Coming online now." The screen shifted, pulling the stars into perspective, zooming toward the dark horizon. Against the background of endless black, a silhouette appeared, long, sleek, partially encrusted with ice and rock. It was a vessel, unmistakably artificial, and not listed in any known database. Voss approached the screen slowly. "That's no asteroid." "No heat signature," said Arun. "No movement, but it's intact." Behind her, the heavy footfalls of Commander Harlanway echoed in, tactical officer, and a man who wore a suspicion like armor. Derelict ship. Could be a trap. Or a relic, Voss replied, eyes narrowing. "Run a deep scan. Structural analysis. Let's find out what the hell it is." A moment later, the ship's AI, Mara, joined in. Her voice, calm and dispassionate, filled the bridge. "Scan complete. Object is an artificial construct, approximately 640 meters in length. Design shares partial signature with Earth Navy vessels, but displays material age exceeding 80,000 years. The bridge fell silent. "That's impossible," Wei said flatly. "There were no human vessels before the 21st century, let alone 80,000 years ago." Mara continued, unfazed. "Structural alloy composition matches future-grade titanium composites, which do not yet exist in known Earth manufacturing records. The object appears to be a hybrid of human and unknown engineering." Arun turned slowly in his seat. "It's from the future?" Voss stepped back from the screen. Her mind moved with razor precision, slicing through disbelief and theory alike. "Bring us within 30 clicks. I want drones out. No one boards until we have a full schematic." "Aye," Arun and Wei said in unison, though the latter's tone bore unease. The ship maneuvered silently through the void, its engines subtle in the vacuum. Outside, 2 reconnaissance drones slipped free, twin motes of light arcing toward the strange vessel. As they neared, their feeds displayed more details. Insignias burned by time, hull fractures sealed with some kind of living metal, and along one flank, a string of symbols. They were unmistakably Terran. Earth script, but half of them hadn't even been invented yet. Mara translated. Designation, Yen v. Arkanis. Status, Silent Watcher. Message embedded. "To those who find us, we are your warning." Alara Voss swallowed hard. A low alarm pulsed. Arun looked up. "Commander, we got a data burst from the derelict. It's directed at us specifically. Encryption is unlike anything I've seen." "Decrypt it," she ordered. "It could be hostile code," Wei added. "I'll take the risk," she said. "But use Mara's sandbox layer. Isolate the signal." The process took minutes. Time stretched thin, the kind of silent anticipation only space could offer. Finally, Mara spoke. Message decrypted. Playing transmission. A voice filled the bridge. It was distorted, mechanical, but unmistakably human. "To the vessel Aegis Dawn. If you're hearing this, then time remains. We failed. The cycle resets. What you find in this ship is not a prophecy. It is history rewritten. Prepare Earth. Prepare them all." The voice cut out. Static followed. No one spoke. Ilara's eyes met Wei's. For once, the suspicion in his gaze gave way to something rarer. Fear. What cycle? Arun asked quietly. Mara displayed another data stream. It was a blueprint, massive in complexity, of the derelict ship. But it was more than a ship. It was a vault, a beacon, a time-locked archive. One section glowed red. Internal core access. Unscannable. Shielded with energy signatures. Not even Mara could identify. Ilara looked back at the screen. This wasn't just a wreck. It was a message in a bottle, hurled backwards across millennia. And someone, maybe something, wanted it found. Send everything to Earth High Command, she said. Flag at Class Omega. No delay. As the crew obeyed, Ilara stared once more at the drifting ship. The future had spoken. Now it was their move. The lights aboard the Aegis Dawn dimmed automatically as the message replayed for the third time. Even now, the voice seemed to scrape against the crew's minds, calm but charged with ancient desperation. To the vessel Aegis Dawn. If you are hearing this, then time remains. Commander Ilara Voss leaned over the holographic console in the command conference room, watching the decoded pattern stream like ghostly fireflies. The room was quiet except for Mara's soft audio pulses and the occasional breath of someone trying not to speak first. Lieutenant Arun Ravel sat nearest the terminal, his eyes bloodshot, his knuckles pale against the edge of the desk. This encryption, it's not like anything I've seen. Not even quantum layer protocols can explain it. Ilara looked at him without blinking. And yet you cracked it. He gave a slight, humorless smile. I didn't. Mara did. Barely. The code kept rewriting itself, adapting to our decryption attempts. It wanted to be read, but only by us. Across the room, Commander Wei folded his arms tightly. And we're just accepting that? A message written by a ghost ship claiming to be from the future? Not a ghost, said Ilara. A warning. The only question is, of what? Mara's interface lit up. Analysis complete. The core data package includes a compressed visual sequence. It appears to be an historic log. Play it. Ilara ordered. The lights dimmed fully as a room filled with projected images. Earth, but scorched and desolate. Great cities lay hollow. Oceans were black mirrors. Skies royal with storm and flame. Then the perspective shifted. Stars twisted into unnatural patterns, and shape emerged from a dark rift in space. It was not a ship, nor a celestial body. It was consuming. No hull, no voice, no message. Just presence. Then came battles. Fleets arrayed against it. All types of warships dwarfed like insects before storm. One by one, they vanished in flashes of white light. Then the message resumed. The voice no longer sounded human. We were not enough. We built, we fought, we prayed to silence. You must not repeat us. The Reaper wakes in cycles. We are the last breath of the final resistance. The image faded. Mara's tone dropped in volume, almost respectfully. The entity is designated as the Star Reaper. Origin, unknown. Capabilities, destructive on a galactic scale. The data suggests this derelict was part of a temporal last effort to influence the past. Specifically, your present. No coordinates, no weapons, said Wei. Just horror stories and riddles. Typical. Arun turned to him. Not just stories. Schematics. There's tech embedded in that ship we can't even identify. And there's more genetic libraries, cultural imprints, stellar maps of a future we haven't lived. Ilara considered the implications in silence. What kind of enemy could erase entire civilizations, yet leave behind enough forethought to attempt a message backward through time? It's not just tech, Arun added. The ship's registry. Yenvi Arkanis. That name isn't random. I cross-referenced it. Project Arkanis was proposed 5 months ago by a classified research cell in Geneva. Prototype hulls, AI cognition loops, adaptive armor, all theoretical. And yet this vessel is the Arkanis. Wei looked unconvinced. A coincidence. No, said Ilara quietly. A loop. The silence that followed was absolute. If the ship came from a possible future, Arun said slowly, and we found it now, maybe we're the ones meant to complete its path. Maybe it wasn't abandoned. Maybe it was delivered. Mara interrupted. One section of the Arkanis remained sealed. Deep scan indicates a temporal distortion field. Manual entry may be possible, but only under aligned atmospheric and quantum conditions. Currently sinking in 16 hours. Wei scowled. Of course. We need to go inside. Ilera nodded, but her mind was moving faster than her words. If the Arkanis was truly a message from Earth's future, then that meant Earth's current timeline was no longer secure. Something, somewhere, had already diverged. Has High Command responded? Arun shook his head, still processing the initial data dump. Communications are slow this far out, and protocol for temporal anomalies isn't exactly streamlined. Then we're alone in this. For now. Ilera rose, her chair sliding back with a faint hiss. She stepped to the main viewport. Outside, the stars glittered uncaring, and just beyond the hull, the derelict Arkanis floated, waiting like a goddamn prophecy. She felt it then, not fear, but inevitability. We go in, she said. Suit team's minimal footprint. No aggression. We retrieve what we can before Earth tries to own it or erase it. Wei nodded stiffly, but his eyes flickered with something between defiance and respect. I'll prep the security detail. As he left, Arun remained behind. He hesitated, then asked softly, Do you think we were meant to find it? Ilera didn't answer right away. Her fingers traced the edge of the console. I think someone gave us a second chance, she said at last. What we do with it, that's what matters. Arun looked back at the holographic logs. One final fragment played. We are the last voice of Earth. You may be the first. Remember us, not for what we lost, but what we tried to save. The message ended. 16 hours. Then the sealed chamber would open, and destiny, in whatever form it chose to take, would no longer be a secret. A dull metallic clunk echoed through the shuttle bay as the airlock sealed behind them. The away team stood in silence for a beat longer than necessary, every member acutely aware that what they were about to enter was not just a derelict vessel. It was a tomb, a vault, a cipher left behind by a civilization that had already burned to ash in some unwritten timeline. Commander Ilera Voss checked her suit diagnostics again, more out of habit than necessity. Her vitals blinked steady green. The mission clock marked 2 minutes to ingress. Beside her, Lieutenant Arun Ravel adjusted the sensor rig mounted to his shoulder, its display already flickering with minor magnetic fluctuations. Suit integrity nominal, Arun said, voice calm despite the tightness in his shoulders. Readings are chaotic. Something's distorting baseline physics near the central corridor. Temporal interference, Ilera replied. Mara said with Spike as we close in. Stay alert. Commander Harlan Way stepped forward, rifle lowered but ready. His voice came through on a private comm to Ilera. Security sweep will be tight. No weapons fire unless we're forced. I don't like how quiet it is in there. I don't like that we're the first ones to ever walk into our own grave, Ilera muttered, and gave the order to advance. The boarding bridge extended like a silver tongue from the Aegis dawn, locking with the Arkanis' main hull port. The airlock hissed open to reveal a corridor lined with sleek, inhuman metal, unscarred by time yet humming with residual energy. Light strips flickered awake as they entered, not with warmth, but recognition. It knows we're here, Arun whispered. His voice trembled slightly. This place, it remembers us. Way scanned each junction, his squad fanning out with military precision. There were no signs of life, no remains, just a suffocating presence that pressed into back of the skull like memory. They moved deeper. The ship's architecture shifted subtly the further they went, walls folding in on themselves, geometries that obeyed no Euclidean logic. Mara's scan overlays struggled to keep up, constantly recalibrating. This design, it's layered in 3 dimensions we can't fully interpret, Arun said. It's like walking through something alive or dreaming in metal. The path ended at a sealed door marked with those same fractured Earth script glyphs. Unlike the rest, this section pulsed gently, almost like breath. Ilera stepped forward. The glyphs illuminated in response to her proximity. Then, with a soft chime, the door opened. Beyond lay the core chamber. The space inside was vast, a cathedral of obsidian light, and arcing currents of data woven into the walls like veins. At its center stood a construct, tall, vaguely humanoid, encased in crystalline armor. It floated inches above a circular dais, unmoving, arms crossed. Energy coursed through conduits around it, linking it to every part of the ship. Arun staggered forward, drawn to the glowing pedestal beneath it. This is the archive node. The real message. The ship is not a carrier. It's a key. The construct's eyes opened. A pulse of light surged through the chamber, nearly knocking the team off balance. Weapons were raised, but Alara shouted, "Hold fire!" The construct spoke, not in words, but in layered thought. The message poured into their minds, a cascade of meaning without language. Alara staggered but remained upright, her pulse thundering. Then the voice clarified into something human once more, not external but internal, echoing inside each of them. We ceded the past to halt the end. You are the node. You are the divergence. This vessel holds memory, weapon, and will. The Reaper is not a destroyer. It is a recursion, a function of entropy. It cannot be destroyed, only redirected. Alara gritted her teeth. What does that mean? Redirected how? The construct looked directly at her, its eyes like windows into collapsing stars. You will become the loop. Suddenly, the floor beneath the dais split open, revealing a stasis vault. Within it, a second form lay preserved, an exact replica of Alara Voss. Identical, down to the scar across her eyebrow. Gasps filled the comms. Wei raised his weapon. What the hell is this? Arun stared, frozen. It's you, but not you. A version from, what, a future or a past iteration? The construct moved for first time, descending to the base of the vault. This is what remains of the failed path. Each time, a version of you has stood here. Each time, choices were made. Each time, the Reaper returned. The loop has degraded. You are the final iteration. Alara stepped forward, her heart racing. What do you want me to do? The construct's voice softened, now almost gentle. Break the loop. Carry what this vessel holds into the heart of Earth's future. Seed new variables. Abandon the pattern. Become the divergence. Mara's voice buzzed in their comms. Commander, the Arkanis is activating a quantum anchor. It's binding to our vessel, initiating integration protocols. Wei spun to Alara. It's trying to join with the Aegis Dawn. That's not an archive, that's a parasite. No, Arun said. It's more like a chrysalis. It's evolving. The walls began to shift. Patterns pulsed. Light flowed faster. The construct turned to Alara one final time. You must decide now. Accept the bond and rewrite the path. Or leave, and allow history to consume itself once more. Alara looked at the stasis vault, at her own mirrored face, sleeping beneath glass. She thought of Earth, of the stars burning one by one. She thought of the message. We are your warning. She looked to Arun, to Wei. Their faces were taut with uncertainty, but they waited for her. She drew in a breath. Begin integration, she said, and the Arkanis answered. The ship groaned as if exhaling from a long, agonizing slumber. The moment Alara gave the order, a cascade of light spread to the Arkanis, surging down walls and across the floor in a synchrony that resembled thought itself. The Aegis Dawn, tethered just beyond the hull, responded in kind. Vibration hummed beneath their boots, deeper than sound, older than reason. Mara's voice filtered through the suit comms, modulated now, almost hushed. Integration is proceeding. Quantum lattice fusion initiated. Structural harmonization at 8% and rising. Warning. Systems experiencing transient anomalies in memory partitioning. Arun staggered slightly, pressing a hand his helmet. My HUD's glitching. It's like I'm seeing something else. Define something else, Lieutenant, Alara ordered, even as her own vision blurred with flickers. Images that didn't belong. Not hallucinations. Memories. But not hers. The vault and the core chamber pulsed brighter. The clone of Alara Voss would then remain motionless, but now strands of data began linking the stasis pod to the hovering construct, as if a dormant mind was syncing with its architect. Wei grunted. adjusting his grip on his rifle. This is spiraling out of control. No, Ilera replied firmly. This is the moment it was built for. Mara continued narrating. Temporal signature displacement detected. The Arkanis is preparing a jump. Destination unknown. Estimated time to initiation 7 minutes. Arun turned sharply. It's jumping? With us inside. No, Ilera said. It's not leaving. It's choosing. The construct stepped down from its dais fully now, its form clearer, more human, but still bathed in that radiant technology. It approached Ilera with the careful deliberation of something ancient and aware. You are the last branch, it said, voice no longer in their minds, but vibrating to the chamber itself. The others chose retreat. Delay. Defense. You choose convergence. So you must carry it. Ilera squared her stance. Carry what? The construct gestured upward. The ceiling shifted to a translucent dome, revealing the galaxy overhead. But not as they knew it. This was a galaxy wounded. Star systems blinked out like dying embers. An unseen force traced invisible scars through the void. From the core, something stirred. Vast. Circular. A presence that bent light around it. The Reaper is not a fleet. It is not a mind. It is a mechanism, a response to imbalance. When a civilization reaches critical entropy, the cycle triggers. Purge. Reset. Recalibrate. This is its purpose. Then how do we stop it? Wei asked, stepping forward despite himself. How do we fight a function of the universe? You cannot stop it, said the construct. You can only rewrite the condition. This vessel contains the seeds of such revision, a new anchor point, where entropy becomes creation, but it requires a living constant, one who remembers, one who chooses. Ilera's mind raced. The loop, the failed timelines, all iterations of herself, each trying and failing to defy a cosmic algorithm. But now, with this integration, the Arkanis can embed her consciousness across time, threading her choices into the fabric of what came next. I have to go, she said softly, where it can't follow, where I can rewrite it. Wei was shaking his head. No way in hell. We don't even know what that means. Arun stepped closer. She's right. The construct said the ship's designed to house a singular temporal consciousness. Hers. It's why the clone is here. Not to replace her, but to receive her. Mara spoke again, her voice laced with reverence. Confirmed. The Arkanis has accepted Commander Voss as anchor. Upload protocols ready. Temporal drive will activate upon neural sync. Ilera looked at them both. Wei, stubborn and fiercely loyal even in the face of the unknown. Arun, brilliant and trembling on the edge of belief. I need you to guide the Aegis Dawn back to Earth, she said. Tell them what happened. Everything. Prepare them. You're not dying, Wei growled, though his voice cracked. No, she said. I'm becoming. Arun gave a solemn nod. We'll tell them. We'll be ready. She turned to the construct. Do it. A pulse of energy rose from the floor. The pod opened. The clone's eyes flickered. Light bridged the space between them, streaming through Ilera like fire and memory and history unspooling at once. She gasped but didn't fall. Her mind stretched, fragmented, then reformed, bound now to every version of herself that had come before and every choice that might still be made. The stasis pod sealed again. The Arkanis glowed brighter than the sun. Mara's voice came one last time. Neuroconvergence complete. Commander Ilera Voss offline. Temporal beacon stabilized. Wei and Arun backed away as the chamber around them collapsed into radiance. The construct voice returned. She is the spark now. The thread. Your time is linear, but hers is not. Go. The rest is in motion. A blink later, they were aboard the Aegis Dawn. The Arkanis, once dormant, now burned like a newborn star, and then vanished. Not into hyperspace, not into time, into possibility. Wasted on the command deck. Fists clenched, jaw locked. Arun was silent, eyes unfocused. Mara's final update pulsed. Arkanis temporal drive, activated. Destination undefined. They had no map, no timeline, No guarantees. But they had a Lara, somewhere in the future that had not yet decided to die. She was writing a new fate,